So we're back up and running, back on the index page. I'm going to do the same kind of thing. Come down here and maybe we'll pick Gregory House. We'll filter just for his patients. And I'm going to sort them by age again. Okay, so here I've got a couple people that are 70 or over. So if I wanted to say move them to a different doctor, I could come in here, pick a different doctor, save, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I'm right back. I have the same filter, same sort order, so I can right away grab the next person and modify them, put them to a different doctor as well. And away we go. Right now, back again, right? And the filter's applied. Everything is great. Perfect. Exactly what we wanted. Okay? All right. Well, we're not quite done yet, though, because, I meant to show you before I stop running. It'll only take a second here. Get this back up again. So that's excellent, okay? So I can be over on multiple pages and so on. So even on doctors, say if I'm over here on page 3 and I go to edit, right? And I save those changes, I'm right back on page 3 again, right? That's great. But you know what? If I come into details and I click back to list, I'm right back on page 1 again. Same thing, okay? Any of the links, right? I don't have a... I meant to apply at least some sorting or filtering or something, right? So I'm on page 3 and I'm sorting by the doctor, okay? So I've got a couple things set at least. If I come into edit, okay, that's fine. But if I just go back to list, then I'm right back, no parameters, no sorting, filtering, nothing is set. I've lost it all, right? All these links just go back to the index, okay? So that'll be the next thing we can address because, thank goodness, we have all this available, right? All this available in our view data itself. So let's just move on with that. So what I'm going to do next is I could, okay, let me actually close these for now. I could come in and modify each one at a time, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to open all these views, have them all open so that I can do some global search and replace. But I'm not ready to do the replace just yet because I need to add something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a dedicated little partial view that has all the smarts ready to actually give the proper link, not only with the ability to go back to the index with all the parameters, but to actually give you some additional feedback to help you remind you what it is you're focused on or working on at the time, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another partial view. We're going to add a view. I'm going to call it my underscore, of course, as the first letter of the name, underscore back to list partial view, right? Check off as a partial view and click add. And it should be ready in a moment. Okay. All right, so there's really not much to this one. It's not huge by any stretch, but basically I just come in here and I access that valuable information we've managed to add into our view data, right? So I just check, does it contain controller name, right? If it does, then I come in here and see if it also has the return URL. In that case, this is the link I want to present on the page, okay? My href will be the return URL with all the parameters in place. And then I can also say back to at least the controller friendly name list, right? Doctor list, patient list, whatever, okay? So it just gives a bit more customization to the page automatically for us. Now, if there's not a return URL, then what are we going to do? We're just going to go back to index. So our action is index like normal, but at least I can actually add in this controller friendly name. So it's a bit more specific than going back to the whatever it is list, right? Now, if I don't have either, then I can just go back to saying back to the list, right? And that's my action is index. Now, I've added this in comments to help me because I've got all my views open. Basically, I want to replace, okay, the link that's there on each and every one. They all look exactly the same. I'm going to Control C, then I'll go Control H for find and replace. Now, the only thing is I added an extra underscore here in this comment just so that the comment itself would not get actually replaced in my search and replace. So put a space there instead. Okay, I'm going to replace with my call to my partial, my back to list partial. But I can do this to all open documents. Bada bing. So found it 8 times and it's updated them all. Okay. All right. So let's just see if that works. Let's come into something more challenging here. So let's get a filter for OHIP, and we'll apply that. We'll sort by doctor, and I'm going to go to page 4 here, and then let's go to details. Now, what it says back to the patient list. Isn't that nice? Okay, I can click that, and you can see it possibly down the very bottom left that all the parameters are showing up there as part of the URL, and there it is. Beautiful. I'm right back on the index. Same filter, same sort, even on the same page, exactly where I was. Works the same on delete, okay, edit, and so on and so forth. So all those links now give me that very excellent functionality. So whether I do an edit and save changes, or a delete and save changes, or whatever, okay, I will still come back with all of my filters and everything in place, right? So actually, let me go and delete this patient if I'm allowed to. Let's see if I can. Yep, but once more, I'm back, same filter, and everything, right? Excellent. That's it. We're almost there. But I don't know about you, but I kind of feel inspired at this point of view, right? Seeing how well that worked. Here, look at this. Edit patient, right? That's not too terrible, but you know what? Patient, details, patient, right? You know, it's not the most, do you want to delete this, question mark, okay? You know, can we do better? Can we give a bit better feedback even in the headings on our different pages, right? Details, doctor, right? Yeah, I think we can do better for sure. Are you sure you want to delete this? So, you know, this isn't life and death. It's not the end of the world, but with very little work, we can actually do quite a bit more in terms of giving customized, so we don't have to worry about changing individual views, right? But giving us a nice way to kind of summarize information to appear in the heading section as well. So once more into views, down to shared. Let's add yet another partial view. So I'm going to click add view. I'm going to call this my view heading, underscore view heading as the name for this partial view. Now it does take a little, I can't just do a global search and replace because I do have to have the layout a little bit different depending on the type of view it is. But still, this is going to take advantage of all the extra information we have in our view data and give a bit more professional look to the overall application itself. So what are we going to have in this one? Well, basically, okay, I'm going to check the action name, okay, that's available in the view data. So therefore on the index, okay, then the heading can just be basically the controller-friendly name index, right? Now, if it's create or add, remember we had those 2 variations, right? If it's in either one, then I'll have the action name and then the controller name. So action name would be create, and the controller name will be whatever the controller is, right? Else, okay, so it's not index, it's not create. So we can get a bit more specific now. See, when you're creating, of course, you don't actually have a model yet, right? So, but now that we're actually into the other actions, we'll always have a model to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the summary, assuming, okay, and I've encouraged you to think about this, that pretty much all of your entities should have a property called summary where you maybe concatenate information together, give a nice sort of one phrase description of what the actual, sorry about that, of what the entity is about, right? So here I can check my view data, go into all the properties here, see if there's a property name of summary, okay? Do we actually have a summary property? If we do, I'm going to grab that, okay? It will be my summary string. Otherwise, it's an empty string if there isn't one there, okay? All right. It'll never actually be null, even though I made it nullable here, but that's okay. All right, so now I come down. Are we on the details action? Well, if we are, then the link I want to have at the top is, okay, the controller-friendly name, whatever it is, doctor, patient, whatever, details. And then, you know, if the summary is empty, well, that's it. I don't want to have anything else. But if it isn't empty, I'm going to put a colon and then the summary itself. So I'm showing details of Joe Smith or whatever, right? Okay. Delete or remove. Okay. I'll have the action name above with the controller-friendly name, but then in a little paragraph underneath, I'll ask my question. Are you sure you want to? Okay. I'll use the action lowercase version of the name, so it might be delete or remove. Okay. And then the same kind of logic here for the summary. If I actually have it, okay, then great. If I don't, then I'll say this, whatever the entity is, right, from the controller-friendly name. Okay. And last but not least is edit and update. So I'll just say the action, the entity's name, the controller-friendly name, and once more, I'll possibly add a dash and the actual summary property. So we'll see how this works in just a minute. So let me just save that. All right. So in my copy-paste file, I've kind of laid out my suggested arrangement for the top of each type of view, okay? So for an index view, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace, okay, just so you can follow along, I'm going to replace all of this kind of code with what's shown below, right? So let me get my two index views. Okay, I can close that one. So index view here. So basically, I will take out even the create new right up to here. And I will put in, okay, this instead. I'll have my view heading, and then it's only applicable to create. I could have tried to add it in the view heading, but I figure it works best here. Create new, and away you go, right? So where's my other index? I'll do the exact same thing there. And you see, I don't have to worry about changing it on the page, right? It's all customized the way it is. Good. Okay, so that's my indexes. I only have the two, so I'm done. Now for both create and edit views, right, I'm going to just have my simple little partial, okay, instead of the edit in each one and so on. So whether it's a edit or a create view, you know what, this H4, I'll leave that for now because I'm going to show you a little trick on that later on. No, I might as well just get rid of it. Okay, so edit, create, same thing, get rid of all that. Here's another edit. And another create, right? So same approach for each and every one of those. Okay. Now, for the delete views, okay, I just need my view, my partial view, right? So here's my first delete view. Everything, including the question, I'll take out because we're forming the question using the proper values inside of our new view heading. Okay. And then for my details, that's the last type of view, I can take all of this out and just have my view heading there. Okay, details. Yep. Take that out. And there we go. Okay. Now the only thing that's kind of left over here, this H4, this doctor, I don't really need that, okay? It's on a few different views, these H4 headings. Okay. Now, if you want to do this manually, that's fine too. But because I haven't gone in and messed around in the HTML very much yet, okay, I'm quite confident that the only H4 heading tags are these ones that to me, are superfluous. So I thought I'd share another trick with you. Let me just save everything so far. And then if I go into the actual find and replace in files, Control Shift plus H, right? This gives me lots of power for doing find and replace. I'm going to use regular expressions here. See, I can check off, use a regular expression. So I'm going to find this regular expression. I'm going to look for H4 tags with anything in between, basically, right? And I'm going to replace with nothing, okay? So I can do this in all open documents, replace all. There we go. Oh, there was only two left because I'd gotten rid of most of them. But you see, it just took them out. So just thought I'd share that technique with you. You might find that handy from time to time. Okay? All right. Now you might say, hey, wait a second. You know, we remove that title all the time. But don't worry, it is in our heading as well. So let's just now see the final result with our headings customized in addition. There we go. Nice. Patient index, create new patient, right? When I come here, it says create patient. Very good. I'm going to go back to the patient list. Okay, if I click edit, look at that, edit patient, and then I show the name of the patient, nice big letters at the top. Very professional looking, right? Details, patient details, again, taking advantage of the summary property to show the name there. Delete. Are you sure you want to delete? And actually giving the name of the patient as well. Now, you check the code. If you don't have a summary property, then it would just say, are you sure you want to delete this record, right? And that's the best it can do because we haven't provided a summary property for it, right? But that is pretty darn good functionality, okay? Nice customization. Each one will be different, pulling information specifically for the record in certain circumstances and so on. All right, so if you like that, okay, then by all means adopt that extra view heading approach in your own, and away you go.